Good morning, Year 1, and welcome back for another day of English. Today we're going to be continuing with the story, The Race Across the River. But today we're not going to be reading the story, we are going to be listening to the story. So if you take a look below, you will see a video by a storyteller named Adele Moss, who is going to read us a new version of the story called The River Race. So your first task is to listen to the whole story. And when you're listening to it, remember, there's going to be no words and no pictures. So it's up to you to use those amazing imaginations to paint a lovely picture in your head of what is happening in the story. Are you ready? Once you finish listening to it, don't forget to come back so you can join in on today's tasks. Off you go! After you've listened to The River Race by storyteller Adele Moss, we can start on task number 2. So here we're going to be using our conjunction because to help express an opinion. An opinion is what we think. So we're going to be saying why we think something using the word because. So let's scroll down to our first task called My Opinions. Here you're going to be writing 3 different sentences, remembering your capital letters and your full stops. Your first sentence is going to be about the race across the river, which was the story that we read on Monday and Tuesday. It had the words and the pictures. So I have written, I liked the race across the river because it had pictures of the different animals. Now your second sentence is going to be all about the story that we've just listened to today, read by Adele Moss. Now I wrote, I liked the river race story because Adele Moss used lots of great wow adjectives. And the last sentence here is going to be about which version of the story did you like better. I wrote, I think the best story was the river race because it had more detail, and as the storyteller was reading, I could paint a picture in my head. So you're going to be comparing the 2 stories together. Which one did you like better? Remember, the first one, Race Across the River, had words and pictures to follow along. And the second one that we've listened to today by Adele Moss didn't have any pictures or words that we could follow along with, but you were able to listen to her recreate the story and you could use your imagination. So which one did you like better? Now don't forget to use that special conjunction word, because. Off you go! Now the last part of today's task is to become a storyteller. You are going to tell a simple version of the story of the animals' race across the river. Let's scroll down to our last page, and here you will find a guide to help you in how to tell your story out loud. So with mommy or daddy or perhaps a sibling, I want you to go through these 5 steps. Number 1 is getting the story started. Number 2, setting the scene. Number 3, recounting the race. Number 4, developing storytelling skills. And number 5, ending the story. Make sure when you're doing your storytelling that you are using a nice loud voice, a speaker voice, making sure it's very clear so people can understand you. And you might want to use some hand gestures, so hand movements, and some fun expressions in your voice so you can use different types of voices for the different animals. Use your imagination, Year 1, have fun and get creative doing your storytelling. As a fun little challenge, after you've practiced it a few times, why not try to record yourself? You can either take a video of yourself doing it, or maybe you just want to take an audio clip. Either one is fine. And if you're able to send those in, I can add them to our Wow Work page for everyone to hear your amazing storytelling. Have fun!